Jai Hind viewers, welcome to AKGEC Digital School. My name is Pankaj Singh, Faculty of IT Department. Today I will deliver my video lecture on a subject cloud computing, and in this subject I will cover topic deployment models that are used in a cloud computing for the implementation of their models. So let's start. In cloud computing, we use different deployment models to implement the cloud over access for the users. It is categorized into majorly four categories. One is public cloud, second one is private cloud, then community cloud and hybrid cloud. As their name suggests here or give the indication how they will use in a deployment models. So these models have few points I will take here. It is often possible to choose a geographical area to put the data closer to the users. Thus, deployment models for a cloud computing are categorized based on their location. So, first of all, we will know how to identify which deployment model will implement at which place, or on how or what are the requirement of the users. First of all, we will collect the requirement of users, their usage, their type, like it is a literate or illiterate or semi-literate user. On behalf of these categorization, the deployment model is suggested, and that will be a best suited for a concerned organization or a group. To know which model would best, as I said, the requirement of your organization, let us first learn about their various types. So, as I said earlier, it is of four types. So, first we will categorize or finalize the requirement at which organization or who is the end user, what are the geographical location of the organization. Few factors will decide, or we can say that will be helpful to identify which model is best suited for the concerned organization. Here we have four models, as I said. One is public cloud, second is private cloud, third is known as community cloud, and fourth one is hybrid cloud. As I said earlier, as the name suggests, public cloud is just like that are available to access in a public domain. Means few features are free, or we can say features are at a minimal charge available on a public platform. Many service providers, we know that there is Amazon, EC2 and others that provide the cloud services over the network, as we see as we explore the internet for the cloud services. And this service provider is called as CSP, Cloud Service Provider. Many companies are doing work in this field. And what are the advantage of cloud services? As I will take a brief view over, cloud services help to a user to find out on their requirements. No need to identify or no need to take license or we can say commercial license to usage the concerned application or the software in a commercial use. So the major advantage, as we know, that cloud services give the elasticity and shrink, and we can say it is a service pay on demand. How much we use the services, we will pay according to it, and as per our requirement, we can expand or shrink the services at a time when we are not in use or we are not using the concerned services. So that will be beneficial for the both end, at the user end and the service provider, because it will pay according to the usage of their services. Either it is in a form of, as we know that the services is of IaaS, SaaS and PaaS. Software as a services platform as a services and infrastructure as a service. It is another topic. We will take it into another video lecture. But we will all familiar if we know about the cloud computing, what is infrastructure as a services, that will cover the setup of servers, the facility of networking, and so on. Likewise, platform services, in which it will cover the different operating system, and in software services it will cover all the services that will use by the help of the different applications or by the use of different tools that is designed or manufactured by the concerned organization, like that in Microsoft and another organization also make their tool, and that are available in a public cloud for access on a free, and along with few additional features it will be paid. So user will access the service as per its requirement. So the major advantage, as I said, of cloud computing is the elasticity and shrink and pay on demand services. That's why cloud computing is in or we can say all the services that we are access, either, or we can take the example of WhatsApp or whatever we do over exploring over the network, that is accessed by the help of cloud, that store all the data in a virtual form. So first of all, we will take here public cloud. What is public cloud? It is accessible to the public. Public deployment model in the cloud are perfect for the organization with growing and fluctuating their demands. As I said, if the demand of a user is not confirmed in terms of their usage, if it required, for example, in a day the bandwidth it's required 100 Mbps, or we can say up to 1000 Mbps, but in a night, or we can say in a weekend, it don't require the services of the concerned networking, or we can say server services. So it will pay according to their requirement. Secondly, it also make a great choice for companies with low security concern. For example, if a organization have a 10 persons, and for a 10 persons it will set up their own server, the security concern, the implementation cost, and the commercial license, it will cost more as compared to the services accessed by the help of service provider that will available on a public cloud. Thus, you pay a cloud service provider for networking services, complete virtualization, storage available on the public internet. It also have a great delivery, or we can say model for team with deployment, development and testing phase, or we can say such organization that work on a development and testing. Its configuration and deployment are quick and easy, make it an ideal choice for the test environment. For example, if companies not have such of capital to invest to design their own server and to make all setup, so that is the best choice for such organizations to use public cloud to access all the machine services, either in a form of software, either in a form of platform, or either in a form of infrastructure, in a form of storage of data at a server. It is a basic block diagram in which we can see easily. It is a cloud provider data center to which all the companies or the users who are access the services is connected to the cloud provider, like company A, public user, company B, company C, and there are their different type of usage. For example, company A access through the internet, and company C using who access the cloud from within the premises, and like that there are different outcomes, or where the cloud service provider will store their content, like it will provide application services, it provide platform services like different OS, different applications like Excel, and we can say MySQL, hardware services, we can say storage or the space to store data, different server computing services and storage services. So it will work as an interface, or we can say a mediator between the user and the actual implemented services. User only know about the cloud, or we can say virtualization. It will send to the cloud service provider, and it will store according to their requirement or the setup he made at his end, either in a same geographical location, or that may be lie in the at a different geographical location. If we talk about the big name of a cloud service provider like Amazon and EC2, they make a different servers at a different geographical locations, like one in India, second one in US, third in UK, like that. And it will make a also proxy server that store all the cloud content. For example, if any server is fail, the content or that will not lost for as to the user who rely on a concerned service provider to store their data. After that, as I said, each model have few benefits and few limitations, and the limitations of this model is removed into another model, or we can say in another approach we use to overcome, or we can say minimize these limitations. So first of all, we will take here the benefits of the public cloud. What are the advantage, or we can say benefit of a public cloud? As I said earlier, the organization which have less capital to invest on their infrastructure, or we can say the computer services, that is the best and suitable for such organization, because the main feature or the main characteristic of cloud is pay per use service. The user will use the service, it will pay according to their usage, either in a term of storage, in a term of networking, in a term of application. No additional charge will impose on a end user of usage the services. Likewise, no hardware setup is required. It will use the client machine, and the server is at the cloud service provider end. It will maintain a large and big servers. It costs more as if we install a same server at a same organization, and that is maintained at a cloud service provider end. Third, no infrastructure management is required. As I said earlier, if organization have 10 persons, it is not possible to keep each and every time a database administrator like software developer and technician to we can say technical technician to manage the all resources like networking. It will cost more as compared to the access service by the public cloud. So these are the major advantage of public cloud. Along with, there are few we can say limitation or drawback of a public cloud. These are the limitations, as nobody will want their data will be breached or will be theft by any hacker or used by any other organization for their personal use. So in few cases, the end user concern is about data security and privacy concern. It is, as we know, that if anything is available on a cloud, we can say over the net, there is possibility of breach of data in terms of hacking by users, or that will be used by any organization for their personal use, or maybe sell out their data. As we listen many cases about the security breach, many companies theft the data of RTO office, and few companies fetch the data of Aadhaar for their business uses, as we see in the news. Along with reliability issue, since the same server network is open to wide range of users, as I said, for example, a service provider has 10,000 users, end users. So, but obvious, if they are using the services, they are able to access the server. So, the motive of each user and who are connected to the cloud service provider is not to store, keep their data safe, but few are trying to fetch or illegally to fetch the data stored at a server location. Third, the services, as I said earlier, in a public cloud, that are limited, because that are available with few limitations, because we are using public cloud, and in public cloud services are available at a minimal price to make the users available to or attract their services, but few features, or we can say few functionality is more expensive as compared to the its actual license, or we can say its actual cost. I did this point here. While there are many resources you can exchange with tenant, there is a usage cap. For example, the storage cap and daily access. As we see, if we will take a example of usage of data, we will take a net data of 1.5 GB per day. Like that, the organization have some cap to access the network or their storage per day, cap of using of 500 GB storage, bandwidth 1000 Mbps, like that. So in some cases, this limitation will hold the actual work of our organization, and it will face some challenging issue to execute their daily routine work. So we can say these are the limitations, and these limitations will overcome into another model that's known as private cloud. As the name here given you a brief about it, it is used by a concerned organization that is solely owned by a organization. Their services, no another user or no other end user will access these services. These are maintained by a or controlled by or used by a specific organization. If we talk here example, banks are use their own private cloud, or we can say servers, at which no another user or no another service or no another data will be stored. That is solely used for the usage of concerned bank. For example, PNB has its own service provider. It cannot provide the service to other user for any company or for any other type of user. So it have few advantages over the public cloud, because in public cloud any user can access the services and according to their requirement and pay and use the server. But in private cloud, that is restricted to use the services. So we'll take the few points in terms of advantage and disadvantage. Benefit of private cloud. As I said, what is the major concern in a public cloud? There is a data privacy issue. What is the data privacy issue? Because that is accessible to all the users over the network, or we can say over the internet. He or she can access the services of the concerned cloud provider. But in case of private cloud, the data privacy is achieved to the maximum level. We can't say it is 100% secure, but we can say it is more secure as compared to the public cloud. Second, the security issue. If a specific server is used for a concerned organization or group of organizations, that will be easily better to secure or identify the breach, because we know the number of users and their identities. For example, a bank employee try to fetch the data of another branch, or we can say make a few fake transactions from one account to another, because without the help of keeping their branch login, it is not possible to access the data of another branch. So it is easy, or we can say traceable in terms of security if there is any breach. Third thing, support legacy system. This model support legacy system that cannot access the public cloud, because as I said earlier, if there is a merging of two different type of cloud or services, there may be a possibility of the unknown user or the hacker or the we can say a threat to a concerned service provider. But as we all know that no system is perfect, it also have few limitations, or we can say drawbacks. As we know that if we solely hire any services, the cost is higher as compared to the if we use a service in a sharing mode, because it is a solely used by a concerned organization. So the cost of usage of service is high as compared to the sharing. If we take the example of we are sharing a pool car, the cost of a per person will less as compared to the hired personally. Likewise, we will take the same example here. The fixed scalability is also a concern in this model. What is it? The hardware you choose will accordingly help you scale in a certain direction. High maintenance cost, but obvious if we use a service for a concern and the specific organization, the specific type of maintenance may high for such type of services, either in a networking form, either in a data storage form, or to maintain their specific tools or software or application used by the private cloud service users. Now we'll take here community cloud. As the name define, the community cloud operate in a way that is similar to a public cloud, but in this mode a different community use the same cloud, and the community is designed according to their categorization. Either it is, if we will take the example, it is a IT industry based organization, it is a banking sector, it is a government sector, like that. Different communities designed or categorized on behalf of their usage and request of user of services and type of usage of application. There is a one difference between public cloud and community cloud. It allows access to only a specific set of users who share common objective and use cases. In public cloud, anybody is allowed to access the services, but in case of community cloud, only the users who have the same goal, or we can say a specific set of users have same objective that will use these services. This type of deployment model is managed and hosted internally or by a third party vendor. However, you can also choose a combination of all three. So the major concern in this, the community cloud is maintained by the internal member, or we can say internal team of a community, or that may be maintained by a third party vendor. It also has some limitations here. Or first of all, we'll take the benefits. Smaller investment and setup for benefits. The protocol and the configuration of community cloud must align with industry standards, allowing customer to work much more efficiently. As I said earlier, in a private cloud, that is specific for the concerned organization, but in community cloud it is specific for the similar type of community. So the protocol and configuration maintain is easy as compared to the public cloud. Now it also have few limitations like shared resources and not as popular. It is not as popular because there are if there are four community, the sharing of resources also a concern. For example, community 1 want to resource, the sharing of resource in term of data storage and networking is more as compared to the other community, and vice versa. So that may be a problem between the communities, and it is solely, or we can say, maintained by the group of vendors that may within an organization or by a third party. Fourth one is hybrid cloud. As the name suggests, it is a combination of two or more cloud. Either it is a combination of public plus private, or we can say private plus community, or community plus public, like that. Or we can say it is a actual implementation of a cloud, or we can say the currently model or deployment model that is mostly in a use, that is a hybrid cloud. For example, for a specific security concern issues, few companies use private cloud, and for the access of their users that are not too much valuable regarding to the content or data, that they can access the public cloud. So generally different companies use the combination of two models, either in a as per their requirement. But in most cases, private cloud is used by their own users, or we can say the management persons, in which the communication or content sharing of data is more valuable and important in terms of real-time system, and the end users is transferred to the public cloud for sharing of data, in which time and information of their content is not valuable as compared to the organization actual data. Benefits: it is a cost effective, security is better because the combination of two cloud, it is assigned according to their requirement, and more flexible. If any normal communication or normal sharing of data, that will transfer to the public cloud, or if any confidential information or data that is relevant to the confidentiality of any organization, that is shared on a private cloud. It also have few limitations, like that if we combine two models or two deployment models in an organization to access the services, the complexity is increased as compared to the other models, because in other models we have used only one mode, either public, private and community, but it is a combination of two cloud. So switching from one cloud to cloud model to another, it may increase the complexity as compared to the other model. And second one is specific use case. So these are the limitations of a hybrid model, but mostly organizations are using this model because it is best suited according to the requirement of their connected users. On behalf of few characteristics, it is compared here like important factor to consider. If we talk about setup and ease of use, which model is best suited? We can say public model is best suited. But if we talk about other features like that, data security and privacy, it is low in a public cloud, and that is high in a private cloud, and very high in a community cloud, because that is specifically used by the persons or that have the same objective and same protocol. Likewise, scalability and flexibility, that is the major characteristics, that is high and fixed in a community cloud. And cost effective, that is also major point of that's why we are using cloud service, that is cost effective. So in public and private cloud, if we compare, public cloud is less expensive as compared to the private cloud, and in community cloud it is distributed between the users. And if we talk in a hybrid, as I said earlier, it is used according to the importance of the users. So it is cheaper as compared to the private cloud. If we talk about reliability, if it is a major concern of any organization like army and banking, so they will prefer the private and community cloud. They will not use the public cloud because the reliability is low, and in other cases the reliability is high. So hopefully it is clear to about these deployment models on behalf of their limitations and benefits, and the comparison on behalf of their characteristics. Thank you.